Hello there and welcome back to another video. Now this one may not seem like a big deal to most of you, as I'm assuming most of you don't find woodcutting an amazing skill. I can't say that I do either, but it's just something that I've always enjoyed AFKing, and after completing 99 as my second 99 on the account, I never really touched Forestry, even when it first came out and everything was a bit broken, because you could just go to whatever event and hop around the worlds and do all those sorts of things. It was never something that I was interested in because I'd already got the 99, didn't think I was going to sort of go for collection logs and stuff like that. But it's been something that I've slowly been changing my mind on. So I decided, you know what, let's just crack on with doing a bunch of forestry stuff and grabbing all the different transmogs for the beaver and things like that. So why not give it a go, and why not try and get as many of the different things as I can get. As you can obviously see here at me doing this mulch one, I was doing a lot of the beginning of just doing it standard, and decided that I thought maples would be a good shout because I was just trying out to see what I liked doing the most, and what if it was more something to do AFK or stand at Draenor Village and try and muster up doing it in that sort of environment with forestry people who seem to be the new Wintertodd people, which can't say has been an enjoyable part of this grind. But the section you're watching now, as well as a bunch of the sections later on, were filmed or were captured about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, so sort of September last year was when I decided, you know what, I'd start doing this after getting the beaver at 24 mil from Redwoods. So it's been a long time. Obviously, since then there has been, most recently, obviously on last week's update, there was the changes to the forestry drop table, which obviously meant that a bunch of the more RNG items, so namely the golden egg and the fox whistle, became a lot more common, becoming I think 1 in 30 for the fox whistle rather than a 1 in 40 or 45, as well as obviously the ability to now purchase those things straight from the forester. So neither of those things are a bad thing. Definitely something that I was happy with, as I was just going to use spare anima to buy a bunch of felling axe handles to shove in Death's coffer, because it's not something that I've looked at and gone, you know what, I'm just going to fill it up with a bunch of random rubbish. You know, I don't have that much stuff to just throw in there that's high value from various different activities I've been doing. So it was just sort of the shout, and thought, you know what, it was 75k anima. That's not awful, especially if you are going super dry. You're going to amount to that anyway if you are doing all of the events. For the longest time, I did stop doing a bunch of them and just focused on the last one I needed. But that not the best way to be, not the best way to operate when you're doing this sort of thing. You kind of have to do all of the events, especially now that obviously you can buy those things. It just makes more sense. But yeah, it's been something that I've not disliked doing it, but it was just a bit frustrating that I came into this at the highest level and was stuck on a bunch of RNG things that were supposed to have got easier the higher your level is. But yeah, I mean, you know me, I like to try and green log things if I can. So the whole log needed doing, apart from the log basket, because I had obviously achieved that, just so that I could go and do Redwoods a lot more AFK. But that meant everything, because I just had a basic axe and the basic lumberjack outfit. I needed the whole lot, as well as everything else that comes with it. So, yeah, it quite quickly adds up how much time you actually spend doing something like this. But yeah, it's been a long time, and I want to mainly to focus around doing a bunch of different AFK things that I could obviously get collection logs from. This is
Collection log
possibly the
slot
easiest.
completed.
But yeah, it meant that I went through and sort of kind of fine-tuned what I picked first. So I wanted to obviously maximize getting as many birds nests as I could,
Collection log
in
slot
the right sort of section
completed.
I wanted, which is the egg nests, because obviously they're the more harder ones to come by and the harder things to come by. So obviously after already buying the log basket, I wanted to make sure I could use the perks of my woodcutting cape at the same time. So I needed to obviously buy the cape pouch to be able to load the cape into the forestry bag, and then the Twitcher's glove so that I could select egg nests, and hopefully make that grind a little bit easier on myself going forward. But unfortunately, they are a bit rubbish. Shortly after that, I did manage to pick up the petal garland while I was going around getting all the different types of logs for all the different things, including buying all the funky shaped log and things like that. But yeah, I grabbed the petal garland, which seems to be the only one that they've not changed to make a buyable, and seems to be what a lot of people are stuck on based on when I've been sort of jumping around doing these sorts of things.
Collection log slot.
Now, the
completed.
log brace, I decided ultimately to put that in Death's Coffer because it was worth a lot of money, and I wasn't going to put it on the kit because I know obviously the hardship that comes with that of having it on the kit, and then you can't have that on you. It has to be in your inventory, otherwise you can't empty your logs, etc, etc. So it just became a bit of a pain, so I thought, you know what, I'll just shove it in Death's Coffer, it'll be fine. I did go back to temple trekking to grab this second set of lumberjack outfit. It wasn't something I was going to sit there and do myself or pay for, but when I could just get these items for free.
Collection log slot.
So yeah,
completed.
Making myself look a bit like the gnome child, but yeah, it's been the outfit I've worn now
Collection
for the last
log
6 months. It's not something
completed.
that bothers me anymore. Definitely not the best looking skilling outfit. The lumberjack outfit does look so much cooler.
Collection log slot.
You know, you
completed.
just take what you're given, and this little bit of extra XP was just pushing me up and up. Just, I don't know, hoping that I didn't
Collection
have to go all the way
slot.
to 200 mil.
completed.
But yeah, you can always never tell with these sorts of things, especially when there's an RNG element involved. You don't look at a skilling activity and think the collection logs are going to be hard to get. Unfortunately, these were reasonably difficult because you are gated out by various different, obviously the randomness of what event spawns, the timer was longer, and then you've also got to look at it and think, well, I still then, even if I get through all of that, I get the right event, still have to be the lucky one that actually gets the drop at the end of it, which yeah, it's starting to feel like, oh, you know what, maybe this doesn't exist. I also made obviously all the pheasant outfit and everything like that because they're all collection log items, as well as being able to store them in the POH, which is obviously good for me because I like to store those things and all various different things and show off my sort of collection of different items and armors and weapons and whatever else. They may eventually add more, and I'm sure I'll be adding to that as well. Yeah, did not serve any purpose. Another purely cosmetic item, the outfit as well as the petal garland. We are in Prifddinas buying our felling axe handle, as Prifddinas is probably where I spent the most time while doing this grind. I spent a long time soloing the magics over by the gauntlet entrance. Now, there isn't a bonus to doing it yourself, especially now with the events popping up more frequently. You want at least 10 people chopping the same tree. Yeah, this was a good use of my dragon axe. I have obviously got a couple spares, so why not make this one into the felling axe? Did mean I had to make a bunch of rations, which is a bit annoying, but it did give me a good use for all of my older food, so sort of swordfish and backwards, anything less than sort of that 15-16 mark for a heal. Might as well just bring a crown one, so that it's sort of the level at which I've cut things off now. But yeah, I made several thousand, I think around 30,000 rations, but didn't end up getting what I needed. However, as you see now, there's 2 of the 3 RNG items that have been obtained, and that wasn't the one that caused me any problems. Golden egg, I got 2. Quite strange to have got 2, because it's a 1 in, I think the last time I looked, 1 in 1350 or something for an egg, and then I only went and pulled 2 within a couple of days of each other. It wasn't particularly far apart, not like some of these clips. But yeah, ultimately, with the new changes that were put in with Forestry, that made me want to just finish off everything by just
Collection
getting
log slot
the fox whistle finally, as the rest of them were traded in, and I kept 1 golden egg to take and turn it into the pheasant just so that it was done. But that meant I needed to buy the last 2 things, the funky shaped log and the clothes pouch. Obviously the clothes pouch I won't be using because I'll be popping everything back into the POH storage, so nothing will stick out, and there won't be any need to have it kept in the forestry kit. Now, I apologise for this clip. I was AFKing, doing a bit of woodcutting at the Hosidius Magics, as obviously I've hopped around many different places over the last 6 months doing this activity. So yeah, it's been something that I've done all over, from Draenor Village to Prifddinas to the Yews at Sears Village to the Maples at Sears Village, as well as obviously these magics and various other trees all around, because obviously you can't use redwoods, which is a shame. It is a very big shame, because their AFK ability is far superior than any other tree in the game. So why not just go for it? If you're going to do it right. But unfortunately, you can't do it like that. So yeah, it's been sort of picking either Yews or magics, mainly because of the way they respawn. Means that if people are all attacking the correct tree, by the time it falls, the next one will have come back, and you can sort of do it in a little circle. So it's not too bad at all to do it that way, and I would much prefer it. But that still meant I needed the fox whistle. Lots and lots of XP. 34 million around this time, and anytime a poachers event came up, I had that as the only event that more or less showed everything, popping up on the screen, doing little visual cues for me and audio cues for me to crack back on and grab those traps, sort out that fox, get that whistle, be done with woodcutting forever. Wasn't something I ever thought I'd come back to, so it's a bit strange. I've sort of come full circle. I'm not sure what skill I'm going to do next in terms of AFK, and there's not too many choices left. So I'm going to have to weigh up those options and then see which one takes my fancy. If you were to be taking on this grind yourself, heavily would advise moving on to the East Coast American world. It's always pretty busy. Most popular spots like this have always got people in, especially the places that have a lower requirement. Places like Sears Village is a good shout. A lot of the Yews, a lot of the time, have over 100 people, so it makes for a much easier time, especially getting events and seeing everybody running around. Especially if you're on mobile, you sort of know where to go. But yeah, apologies again for the resolution on this one, but yeah, I couldn't not put in the live kind of getting of the whistle, because everybody in the clan knows how much woodcutting I do. It's to no shock most days when people log on and see that that's what I'm doing. So yeah, but yeah, it's done. I need to think of a new activity, as obviously now I've done Herblore as well. That was kind of my next sort of go-to. It might be a case of I'm going to have to either AFK something I've already done, like mining or crafting,
Collection log slot
something like that,
completed,
or looking at ways of getting collection log slots through some kind of AFK method. So obviously I mentioned before that I did a bit of AFK type work or at Tithe Farm. Now I need more or less everything from Tithe Farm still, so to get that soon would be cool, just because then I again don't have to go back to Tithe Farm, and while I'm already kind of used to it, why not go for it? Now, not too long after I started the grind, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to use any of my eggs. I'm just going to basically do the entling haircuts, and that'll be it for whatever eggs I get, and I'll do that at the end of Forestry, thinking I'd get it done in a month or two. Obviously, it taking 6 months, it meant I built up about 200 egg nests, sacrificed them all, and as you might have guessed, big fat nothing. So, whilst that's unfortunate that each piece is a 1 in 300, so can't be too disappointed. But for now, that's going to be it for this episode. Until next time.